You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
Salutations, this is the New Old Heads. Welcome. How y'all doing? This is DJ Jay Diff. In the house today, we got my guy Lonegevity.
What's up, man?
What's going on?
Salutations.
Indeed. We got my guy Jay Moore in the house. How you doing, brother?
Hello, Terry.
How you doing?
That's for our old school listeners.
Right.
They know what's up with that.
Yes, sir. And then we got a special guest in the house, Mr. Let them know who you are. Jay Brookinz.
Jay Brookinz.
Yes, sir.
How y'all do? What's up with you, black man? Trying to get like you.
Hey, man, we just sitting here doing what we do, you know.
Another Tuesday.
Yeah,
Smooth.
man. Yeah, man. So this is first time you've been on with us post Treese.
Yes, indeed.
You know, have you ever been able to decompress at all?
Bro, I'm so glad that Treese is over. I am so glad. OJ then went and left the country.
I know.
On me.
I see him. He's out, you know, communing with nature and in the animal world.
Bro,
Yeah.
I'm so tired. I was so tired. I have decompressed though. You guys got to, I feel like, enjoy it. Like,
No, I never enjoyed
you
it.
didn't?
I never enjoyed Trees.
No, bruh. I saw two people. I went and saw Ninth, and that was a movie. That was perfect.
That's good.
That made it all worthwhile. And then I went to go see Bless when they performed. So I don't really get to enjoy it, but some of the scenes I saw and what I heard from people's experience made me feel really, really good about what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, glad that it came back. And man, to watch Ninth rock and like all those people out there watching Ninth, it was just like, it was crazy. It was probably a top 5 moment.
It's
for
like
Treese.
a party.
Yeah.
Special Ed says that NWA started a new wave of destruction in rap. King Crooked says art imitates life. Who has a better point? Do either of them have a point? That's the question.
I'll just be honest, man. This is a take I've heard more than once from people on the East Coast who were getting, and like, because it took the spotlight from New York and just was like, let's put it over here.
Listen.
To New York.
Mm-hmm. And it's so fitting because you got on this Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah, it sounds like, I'm definitely here repping, but which I'm not. You know, like I said, I'm from right in the middle, just like everybody else on the show. But you know, I just remember, of all people, you know, and he had his own stuff going on. Africa Bambaataa saying the same thing at one point. Look, NWA was like, and I heard someone else say this, so I'm not going to take credit for it. Please don't give me credit for it. It might have been, I think, Chris Rock. It was like the British invasion for hip hop when NWA came out. Because there's little pockets of regional stuff that was popping off. But when NWA, Straight Outta Compton, and Easy Does It came out, it was like, you couldn't act like this wasn't happening. You could be mad they weren't from Brooklyn or Queensbridge, but they had no illusion. They were not trying to do anything mainstream. You know, there was no reason, honestly, why those records sold millions of copies at the time they did, because they weren't getting played on the radio, even the clean versions. And the thing is, NWA would rewrite their songs.
They had a song called Radio.
Yeah, but they would, like, Gangsta Gang, they rewrote. You know, because I'm the type of brother that's built to last. We had some in the present, some in the past. That was, you know, and if you know the real way it goes, you know, like that's the version I initially heard on Magic 108 in St. Louis, and then I went to basketball camp and some cats had the tape, and I was like, oh, this is something else. You know, and
how about that?
I've shown love to Special Ed on the show. You know, there was probably a little era where Special Ed was probably my favorite rapper. You know what I'm saying? But then when that NWA hit, let me tell you something. You can't act like it was one of those things you couldn't act like you didn't see.
Come on, man.
You know, and so I don't think it brought destruction. I always say that NWA, their first album, and, you know, even parts of Easy, like, it was like they were telling you, like, look, black people, I know what you're doing on the East Coast, but this is what's happening in LA right now. You know, and what's going on here is completely different. Like, I saw an interview with Ed Lover when he went to LA for the first time, and he had like a red jacket, and Eazy-E had to say, all right, man, we're gonna buy you some new clothes here, because you got to put that card. You can't just put it in the car. You got to put it in the trunk. I think there was a lot of East Coast just jealousy when you saw how big those guys got just being themselves. You know, there wasn't anything where like, hey, let's go ahead and put on and dance a little bit and be this and that. And so maybe we can be palatable to not only white people a little bit, but to, you know, black people who, you know, are still working through a level of respectability politics. Here's NWA just being unabashedly themselves and winning. There was jealousy there. You can't say there wasn't.
Let me play the clip of Special Ed, and then we'll talk further on this because I actually have it. It's a video. I thought it was an article. So
NWA or Wu-Tang Clan?
Wu-Tang.
Okay.
Wu-Tang is for the kids.
Wu-Tang
now,
for the
you know
children.
what? Besides that, man, Wu-Tang was dropping knowledge and positivity.
Right.
You know, NWA brought the age of destruction.
Damn. Jesus Christ.
NWA brought the age of destruction to our children and our culture. I'm going to tell you what it is. That's where it started.
Wow.
That's where the agenda started, and that's where the destruction began. When the president sent them that letter, NWA ran away with it in such a way where it was like, for real?
Word.
That's all we gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, it was genius for them, and they made millions of dollars off of it, but look at what it caused.
Ain't
That's
nothing
hate.
wrong with that.
That's hate.
That's definitely hating. And then when you compare NWA and Wu-Tang Clan, Wu-Tang talked about the same stuff. It just sounded different. And I'm tired of having to have that conversation with everybody about the different nuances of how things are presented to you. The content is the exact same, except that I'm being blatantly in your face with it, NWA. And then
they're saying it out loud.
Yeah, Wu-Tang is kind of hiding it in the applesauce or in more words, so to speak.
So doesn't that make it different though?
No, it doesn't, because he just talked about how Wu-Tang is for the kids,
which is not right.
No,
it's not for the kids.
Okay, I don't.
Look, I know we like to say because
I mean that's
Dirty got on stage and said that, but Wu-Tang was not for the kids.
That's their slogan. That's what they talked about. But NWA, they was in your face. They was real, and they told you why we're in your face and why we're real, because we're telling you exactly what goes on in these neighborhoods we live in and what we see happening outside our front doors. And again, it goes to the point of, we're not telling you to do this stuff, but I am reporting live to you from the hood, and this is what's going on.
Look, NWA had a song called Dope Man. It wasn't celebrating the dope man. They was talking about beating the dope man up.
Come on,
because
man.
of what he was doing to the community. Like, you got to understand, when you listen to these records, these are political records. Okay. When a lot of, and look, let's just keep it real. I mean, we had Public Enemy on the East. You know what I'm saying? You had some people, but there was still a lot of party and dance on the East. And then here comes NWA talking about not just like, oh, the police are doing this wrong. It was like, F the police. This is what they're doing exactly.
Wasn't 𝐀𝐿𝐲 doing the same thing on the East Coast?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But, you know,
saying.
road to the riches. But, you know, like I said, we forget, like I said, people got to listen to Dope Man. Dope Man is like, they was talking about beating a dope man up for what he was doing to the community. These were political records.
Yeah.
What is the importance? You can chime in if you guys.
No, I'm just thinking about this, man. I mean, this is an age-old thing that people always said. You know, even wasn't Common saying something like that on his first joint that kind of blew up. I used to love her. That was like the.
But that was because
that was hate too.
Yeah, they was kind of.
That was hate.
They was kind of beefing a little bit then.
No, that was before that. That was before that.
That's why they was beefing.
Yeah, that's why we was.
Yeah.
There was.
Okay,
It was
that's
like,
right,
oh,
that's right.
she went to the West Coast and now she effed up. That's what Mac 10's issue was.
Yeah, and now that hearing you say that about, if you really listen to these records and like how they were coming, like, man, that brings a different perspective to it, in my opinion. Because at first he's like, maybe this dude right, maybe that was the beginning of the destruction or something like that. But when you say it like that, like, man, have you listened to Dope Man and like actually listened and heard that these are political records? Like, there's a message behind it that's not the most. Like, it's not the most blatant thing that people will be drawn to. We see gangsters, we see, you know, Bloods and Crips, and we just automatically draw to that. We're not listening and saying, oh, these guys are like giving you kind of like the CNN of the hood, which I've always kind of felt. I hate that. But, you know what I mean? Like, you bringing up that perspective is kind of making me, you know, the wheels turn a little bit. Like, maybe this dude is a little bit wrong on that. You know what I'm saying?
Not a little bit wrong. He's all the way wrong. Like I said, it's nothing but hate. Like I said, I love Special Ed. Shout out to him. But he's just wrong. You just wrong. No,
but I mean,
can't say that.
And the thing is,
but
there
is
was no.
but is he really 100% wrong? I mean, you guys are looking at it from a very like you broke it down, right?
Yeah.
And so from the breakdown that you said, I agree with what you're saying. But is there something to be said about how it's delivered?
This is before when they made these records. Stratacom. There was no. I understand everybody who came after, but there was no commercialism and gangsterism at that time. Not in the music, because if you wanted to be commercial, you do. I mean, and this is no diss to them. You do what Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince are doing. You do what Eric B and Rakim are doing. You know, there wasn't even a commercial component to Public Enemy, because quite honestly, their very first album, Bum Rush the Show, it wasn't a hit for Def Jam. You know what I'm saying? So you still want to do kind of the colorful, happy gold chain rap. And I'm not dissing it because I love that. But when you talk about what NWA did, these were supposed to be almost like, if you can compare it to anything, almost like Rudy Ray Moore, maybe Red Fox Records. You know, you'd listen to them, in the basement after all the Christians left your party. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, these weren't going to be things that you put on the radio or you shoot videos for. That came much later. You know, like that NWA record was. The first video never got played on MTV or BET. There was a video for Straight Outta Compton that most people have only seen on YouTube, or they watched on the box back in the day.
No, I promise I've seen that
on
MTV.
No, MTV to this day has never shown. Like, they show it as far as
the box.
You showed it on the box.
Did I see that on the box? It was grainy.
MTV,
my box was grainy.
Yeah,
mine was too.
It was on UHF, but yeah. So they wouldn't. The first single they had out representing their town. They wouldn't even play it on television. You know, my brother had all of these albums though. So like I was real familiar with NWA before I even started seeing them on TV. Just because IRC was in my neighborhood record store. Okay. So all of that stuff went to IRC, and if it was at IRC, my brother was bringing it to the house. So we had all of that stuff early, and I remember sneaking to listen to this stuff. Yeah. And I mean, from a surface level, yeah, it's bad, it's raunchy, it's something you don't want to listen to around your parents, you know what I'm saying? But in the same token, when we talk about having some sense and being able to listen with, you know what I'm saying, and be able to take from it rather than feed it, essentially, that was kind of one of those things, at least for me, so to speak. Not for everybody, but I can't sit back and say that once they came out, that was the destruction of music, because I didn't only listen to NWA. It'd be different if everything I listened to from point on was gangster, shoot 'em up, bang bang, F the police stuff, and I never listened to Tribe Called Quest or De La Soul. They was all out at the same time, and I loved them all.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
You can't sit up and say that this one group was the end all be all of music, and all of these other groups succeeded just as well as they did.
Yeah. So.
Well, okay. Yeah, I don't know the answer. I was just posing the question. Yeah. Like, I mean, you guys were definitely around listening to NWA in real time, and I wasn't. So there's that.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Look, I just remember, like, when you would watch your MTV Raps back in the day, and when NWA finally got a video that would pass standards and practices. Which is how you get a video on television. It was called Express Yourself. You know,
yeah, and it's when they was riding around doing the interview with Fab Five Freddy in the back of that like a flatbed truck or something.
Yeah, and he had to like do the signs up so that people wouldn't.
Yeah. You think about the song Express Yourself, which was a single. Like, you got to understand, there are songs on Straight Outta Compton, there's no cussing at all.
Yeah.
And it's not the clean version. That's just a version, like, If It Ain't Rough, which is basically a Ren solo album, song. There's no cussing on that.
There's no cussing on DLC's album at all.
Other than the grand finale.
The last song.
With the rest of NWA on it. You know, there's no cussing on Express Yourself.
No.
They did whole songs on there where there was no cussing.
He was talking about don't smoke weed on there.
Yeah.
And then came out with the Chronic.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's progression.
So what about
different strokes?
So what about his argument about, the being targeted by a president and stuff like that?
No, he's talking about when he got the letter from the FBI.
Right.
I mean,
the president and his goons put the drugs in the hood any damn way. So
if we really looking at it,
come on, man.
You want to talk about destruction?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean,
just say no. All of that was fabricated.
I mean, yes, this is all the Reagan era stuff. For sure.
NWA's getting they just got a bad rap, man. It's just so much.
But why? I guess that's what I'm saying here. Like, to drive the point home, that's the only thing that we really haven't really fully touched on is why does NWA get such this horrible bad rap if we all agree that special ed is
because they gave you the image of the black people that you're supposed to fear. The dudes from the hood that are up to no good, so to speak. And
there's no dancing in the videos.
Yeah, you just scared because they black and having a little something.
They don't have on any color. They have no colorful clothes on. They wearing all black.
What's NWA stand for? Like, that's probably that's one thing.
They weren't happy about certain situations. Let's just say that.
Even when you talk about F the police, the one of the lines that stands out to me to this day is black police showing out for the white cop. That's a political statement.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You can take whatever you want to take from that song, but and that's what John Singleton they
put it in the movie.
They put it in Boys in the Hood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, I think there was a lot of hate on the East Coast from what NWA was doing, because like I said, it took one of these spotlights and took it completely off of New York and switched it all the way over to California, and it stayed over there for a minute.
Yeah,
it did.
Biggie had to acknowledge, I'm trying to sell records like Snoop.
There you go.
Well, okay.
Shout out to NWA, boy.
Yeah,
man. Shout out to Special Ed. I mean, I got to watch the rest of the interview you did.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, what else he
said NWA
on.
family tree is stupid, though.
Yeah,
it is.
And I don't want to like people do this to us on a regular basis too. Like, I'm very curious, like, what else he said that maybe there's more to it than that.
That soundbite.
Yeah, So
that's just a clip that went viral, and
and who knows if it's chopped up or anything, but but still. Yeah.
I just hate how he tried to use Wu-Tang as the poster child for positive rap.
I was like, first of all, dog, that was like 5 years later. It's not
like did you listen to Only Built for Cuban Links?
Bro. I think he was just kind of put on the spot.
Did you hear the Spike Bat skit?
Yeah.
Is he dead?
What you mean, is he dead?
Shout out to Wu-Tang, though.
Yeah.
Straight up. I rock with both of them.
I mean, we needed that album, too.
Exactly.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into this other one that's kind of fresh and new. Did you guys see the President Biden slip up when he was with MC Lyte and LL Cool J? And he said, boy, man, real quick. And I guess I should probably preface this a little bit better.
LL Cool J. By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs. I think he's been.
Yeah, he was giving a nod to the 50th anniversary, and in addressing
off the cuff or just
it's him reading the teleprompter. But I think off the cuff, he was just like, "Yeah, this boy's got." He said, "This man's got biceps that are bigger than my legs," or something like that. So I don't know.
It was funny to me, even though I know people want to be upset about this.
So that's gonna be my question. Is this Joe Biden's like deep-rooted racism coming out? You know what I mean? Or is this just like an old man who can't remember anything else, just trying to be funny? And then
we gotta understand, he's just up there having his senior moments.
Yeah, this is old man Joe in the flesh.
And I tell people, look, I was not excited to vote for Joe Biden. But I tell you what, he is an old man trying to get into heaven now, and we need to get as much out of him as possible. And if it takes me having to vote for him again, damn it, I just got to do what I got to do.
Listen, man, Democratic Party needs to probably find somebody more suited.
You can do better.
Yeah, but man, I'm not taking offense to that, honestly.
Would you take offense? Would you guys take offense to this if it was Trump doing the same thing?
Yeah,
that's the thing. I probably wouldn't, man. Honestly.
No, because Trump will say he'll be like, "Hey, look at my African American over there." Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That probably sounds a little more suspect than
my African American.
I might call somebody my boy. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean that I'm trying to belittle you or nothing like that. But
I mean,
Trump was on Method Man's album. Like, he's actually got a little bit of more history with
hip hop. Yeah, he does.
This guy's got
calling
no
somebody
history.
You're African American.
Yeah, he's wild.
That's a little different.
I don't trust none of them, to be honest with you. I don't take offense to what Sleepy Joe is talking about, but I ain't paying him no mind, no how.
I mean, he tried.
He tried. Failed.
To me, it just sounded like he was like gaffing, like he was just trying to be cool and for the hip hop thing.
LLJ, Cool J.
Yeah, he's like LL Cool J. Or
If you ain't vote for him, you ain't black. Like all that stuff, bro. Like this dude's a wacko.
Much.
Get out of here.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Democratic Party really needs to get together and figure something else out, because Trump, if he's able to run by the time it comes time to run, will probably win again. I'm gonna just put that out there because
no, that's not even a bold claim at this point.
I'm just saying.
Is Dr. Cornel West?
He's running. He's running. He's
as a what?
He's I think a Democrat, but I don't think he's gonna have enough. You know, he's not gonna have enough push for anything.
Just like what's his name?
DeSantis.
Larry Elder. He tried.
Man, Republicans are having debates just to pick the vice president at this point.
Ain't nobody that's about the right gonna be president, bro. Like it's just let's forget about that.
No.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody that's about the right is ever gonna be president of the United States of America.
Well, no, because you have to. I don't know, man. Like, you know, it used to be something where it'd be like, yeah, let's get behind somebody. But now I'm just like, we just, this is all entertainment to people.
Man, we're just throwing slop at the wall.
Yeah, we're just seeing what's going to happen. And we need to elect somebody that's going to make the other side really mad. And then the next 4 years, we elect somebody else that's going to make, it's not even, I find most politicians to be the ones they put on TV all the time, to be remarkably unserious people. You know, right. I mean, like, for all the things I could say about Trump, you know, I talked to a friend of mine who's a Republican, you know what I'm saying? And I said, look, my biggest problem is, like, he didn't really seem to be into the work.
Yeah.
Like, that's for all the goofy insults he had for people, and the fact that, you know, he was going on, like, kind of like these comedy tours or whatever that he was doing when he'd show up to different towns. It's like, I wish he was more serious. I wish he was more into the actual work. You know, I feel like if he was even a little bit more, there's no way Joe Biden would have won if he was just more into the actual work of being president. Which
is why I'm happy that he wasn't into the actual work, because I don't think we need anybody that much to the right of what a Democrat is.
Well, it's probably about to happen again.
Yeah.
Well, so
that's his life, I guess.
Yeah. So shout out to Joe and LL Cool J and MC Light and whatever.
And she was catching flack for defending him, and I saw
who was catching flack.
MC Light.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, and people were, you know, and then of course, you know, I think the interesting.
Because she was like, I was there. It wasn't as bad, you know.
Yeah.
And the dynamics too, like the people in the comments are, you know, calling, you know, them names for defending Joe Biden and everything like that and stuff like that. And then you have the Republicans that come in or the MAGA people. I don't know what the difference between
There's
MAGA.
a difference. There's a difference. The guy I was talking to, I feel like is a Republican. There's a difference between the people who wear the red hats and the people who are just like, I remember what Reagan did for this country. Like, those are two different people.
Yeah, they're all evil though. Yeah. But at the same time, that those people will come in and chime in and be like, "Well, see."
Yeah.
All of a sudden they have like all of a sudden have the intelligence to understand what these things are.
Now they're like, see, racism. And it was like, well, what about you burning books about Jackie Robinson? And it was like, well, that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only this racism counts.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair, I guess. All right, let's run the partners real quick. Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Printfinity is a screen printing shop based in Indianapolis, owned and operated by our own DJ Jay Diff. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member for as little as $3 a month. All details on newoldheads.com. Welcome back to the New Old Heads podcast, where we talk about whatever we want.
Damn straight.
Like being old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A new old head.
We're new old. This one got a decent amount of votes. So did anybody see the interview? It was kind of like, it was Timbaland and Pharrell on stage, and they were kind of like having...
They were like at a dinner or something.
I don't know exactly. I didn't see it. But they were on stage, and they kind of had like a back and forth about who had the better production with Jay-Z. Was it Pharrell or Timbaland? And they kept saying each other. You know,
being gracious.
Yeah, they're being gracious. Yeah, so that's the question. Who had the better catalog with Jay-Z overall? Now I have them pulled.
Just
yeah,
Blaze.
well, of course, but
you pulled them up. Let's go.
I got them pulled up. So let's look at. These are some songs produced. Well, these are the Neptunes. Hold on.
I mean, the Neptunes. I mean,
do we want to consider the Neptunes?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because pretty much the songs are not produced by Pharrell, but by the Neptunes.
All right, so I Just Want to Love You.
Okay,
That's off
banger.
the Dynasty Rock La Familia. Excuse Me, Miss from Blueprint 2.1.
Banger.
That was I Know from American Gangster.
Fire.
Classic.
Yeah.
Allure from the Black Album.
There we go.
We
Another
talked about
classic.
that. Yep. Change Clothes and Go.
But I liked it.
It was good.
It was, for a first.
It was
single.
Didn't
was good
age
to
well,
kinda-
but it was when it came out, it was jamming.
It kind of set the tone, you know.
It was definitely a big hit, like a record when it came out, though.
Mm-hmm.
La 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 from the Bad Boys 2 soundtrack.
That one was cold to me.
Yeah, that song went hard.
That's not Jay-Z was smoking the lot. That's not that song, is it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Ambitious. Is
For some
that
reason,
on
I
there?
thought it was
Got a
called
little
something
red
different.
light.
Gotta Have It from Watch the Throne Deluxe.
Yeah.
Ambitious. Is that on there?
We'll see.
Okay.
F It All, or excuse me, F All Night.
That's a song Jay-Z really could have kept.
Yeah.
As
That's a throwaway
And I liked
track.
it, but it was just like, it was one of those songs that has not aged well and we don't need.
Okay. So Ambitious.
That's
from
one of
the
my favorites.
Blueprint 3.
Yeah.
And In Please featuring Young Chris.
You can start out from the roof to reach
That's
the trunk.
solid.
Just put
That's
the trunk
solid.
in the roof in the trunk. Yeah.
No.
Blueprint 3 got some jams on
It do.
bro.
It does.
It just
It really
really
do,
short.
man.
Blueprint 2. You talking about Blueprint 2?
I'm talking about the one with like all the instruments on.
Oh,
the
yeah,
front.
that's 3. Yeah.
That tour
got some
was cold.
jams, bro.
That was on tour,
N-Word
though.
Please was kind of a joint, too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, yeah.
It was.
So yeah, that's 10 joints.
Okay.
For some reason I thought there was more, but
I feel like there was more. Jay-Z did a joint on Pharrell's album too.
You talking about
Yeah.
Girl or something. It's called Girl something.
Nah, it was
I just love it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's not going to spark the algorithm at all.
It might.
yeah, that joint. That was good though.
I was jamming.
Yeah, that was
Well, that's Excuse Me, Miss. No, that's not
no.
Excuse Me, Miss. That's
Why
Front.
Yeah.
front. Why could I not remember that song?
Yes,
That was
Front
a
was
huge
super
record.
dope. Actually, that's probably my favorite record from them together.
Really?
Yeah, I really like Front a lot.
Over like So Ambitious?
I couldn't even tell you what that sounds like.
Front is cold.
It is cold, but man, something about nah, that ain't my favorite. from
Yeah, I
them
think
two.
Front might be my favorite one from them too, personally.
My favorite fun one. If we go fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
All right, let's
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
up these Timbaland
All right,
records.
so let's see.
what's going
Let's
on.
see what Timbo's got over here. We're still getting comments on the Timbaland. All right, so Timbaland has 12 songs on here. What's going on with this mic stand? All right, so first one is Big Pimpin' featuring UGK.
Okay.
Certified classic.
Yep. Suit and Tie featuring that's a Justin Timberlake featuring Jay-Z.
I hate that record.
I think it was cool, but
No.
it ain't nothing to.
That's a record where I was like, this was a record of its time, and the time is over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Holy Grail from Magna Carta.
Holy Girl was cool. It set the tone.
Somebody give me that melody real quick.
I don't even know. I
No,
didn't.
because remember, Justin, he's like, into the clothes
Yeah.
of my back,
Okay.
and I let you. Yeah,
Okay,
and,
yeah.
it's one of those songs. It was of the time.
Somebody splice up all of us singing together for a clip. That would be pretty awesome.
No, it wouldn't. That'd be awful.
It's Hot. Some Like It Hot.
I don't even know what that
It's
is.
from Volume 3.
Yeah, it must be a throwaway.
Yeah.
No, it was a little
Some
bit
Like
of a
It
jam.
Hot. How does that go? I need you to sing it.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Hold on. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't even think of that song.
Some Like It Hot. Hold on, let me just pull
Can
it
we
up
do
here.
like a 5-second?
Let me just pull up. Some Like It didn't come up. Didn't even come up when I Googled it. That says something, right?
That's
it's Hot. Some Like It Hot. It's going to be an ad probably.
Yeah, wait for that drop.
It's like
Yeah, okay, yeah. No, that was a cool track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah,
Because this is where he's like, I'm $1 million. Who is it?
Yeah.
50 Cent.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That was a bop. Yeah.
That was cool. I like his drum programming on that a lot. His classic synthesizer strings when they come in though, that from that entire era just kind of makes me kind of
Cringe
Cringe a little bit.
it's like the ick.
Yeah.
When that beat dropped though, it's like
Oh, for sure. Yeah. When that beat drop, it's definitely
that bass
jamming.
hit. Yeah, that's
that's a problem.
cold, bro.
But that was always Tim's.
Yeah, I like
his,
that
his,
one.
him and Pharrell both. All right. Paper Chase featuring Foxy Brown from Hard
I
Knock
love
Life.
that record. Can't even front.
1 Minute Man, which is a Missy
That was a
Elliott joint.
remix.
So addictive.
Why is that being added?
I know, it's kind of weird.
Because he was just on it.
Yeah, I guess. Come and get me.
Come and get me. Jam.
Yeah, that is a jam.
Okay.
Hola, Jovito.
Hola, Jovito.
Even
That
though
whole moment of that album,
Yeah,
though, is
but you know what the thing is? That song slaps, but it's the corny song on the album.
That's
the corny song on the Blue.
I wouldn't skip it if I played that album right now. I wouldn't skip it.
I would.
You would?
That's the song That's the song I would skip when the Blueprint hit.
Let me tell it. And it's going to be a problem.
I like
it. Next one, Dirt Off Your Shoulders, Black Album.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire record, but you know what? That's the corny song on the Black Album. That's the song. It goes, but it's just like the song. It doesn't quite fit with the rest of the theme of the record.
I mean, because it's Tim, bro. Tim
exactly.
is just,
Exactly.
It's just
that's it.
That's the Tim joint.
Because it's Tim.
It's the Tim. Yep. Tim joint.
Yep.
Yeah.
Snoopy track.
Put Juvenile on there.
Yeah.
What do we think about that?
That one was mid to me.
I never hated it, but I like to play
Snoopy
it.
track is mid. I didn't
have a nice system in my car, so I didn't do nothing with that.
To me, and I did, and I played it all the time. But I felt like at the same time, like it was one of those that it's the Tim effect again. It was just so different. It was like you never heard any other beat that was like the Snoopy track.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So, Jigga what, Jigga who.
Certified.
So good.
Yeah.
Certified.
The originator.
That still goes.
Jazzo finishes. Yep.
I loved it when they did the unplugged version.
Yeah.
And the last one they have on here is that Yo Chick.
So tight.
Yeah. That was great.
Man, he just would come out of left field, man.
It's very left field.
Yeah.
So still, who you giving it to?
Pharrell.
That's a tough one, man.
VA wins. I mean, they both from VA, but
If we take away the Jay-Z features and the remixes just on Jay-Z albums, would it be any different?
No, because Pharrell has Allure and So Ambitious.
Come on, man.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it's not no runaway.
I know Allure is both on American Gangster.
Yeah.
And the Frontin's not even on here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm probably going to have to go with Pharrell.
I got to go with Pharrell.
But at the same time, like I like the fact that Pharrell was just so different, but he wasn't too different.
Mm-hmm.
Tim's stuff was like experimental and it worked, and that he's great for that reason. But Pharrell wasn't.
I think Pharrell's was different too. The thing about it is,
who did Venus versus Mars?
He wasn't as.
I think that was Tim.
I don't know. I have to look it up.
Or Hater was.
But at the same time, sometimes you can
that was Tim.
because they were both very like drum centric and percussion centric. You know, their style was very similar. They're both from VA. They both came up under the kind of the same tutelage as well. So, but
I think they both had a signature style that they kind of ran with. But I think equally. Timbaland and Pharrell both have distinctive tones. I feel like Tim probably took more chances.
Yes,
he did. That's exactly what I'm about to say. Like,
you can't.
Pharrell stayed in his bag.
Yeah, he stayed in his lane.
Brought Jay-Z along for the ride.
But they didn't put on here Blue Magic.
Pharrell made Blue Magic.
Oh my God.
Pharrell was in his bag on American Gangster.
He really was.
How do you leave all Blue Magic?
Well, this must be a crowdsourced Apple Music playlist or something. I don't know, but
Pharrell. Yeah, I think Pharrell laced him more than Tim did.
I think he's more consistent.
Yeah, he was more consistent, but I'm not gonna say that.
But that doesn't mean
Tim's
not great.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But like,
I know. I just have
when
to
we talk about listenability and what you want to hear right now. Like, I can hop in the car right now and put that Blue Magic on and vibe out. You know what I'm saying?
I think Pharrell stuff has more long-term legs than Timbo's.
Like, even when he, it's something that shouldn't work when Pharrell starts singing like the chorus from the In Vogue song on Blue Magic. When I heard it, I was like, I scrunched my face up when I heard it.
Tom Ford,
that's a Timbo track.
Yeah, it's not on here either.
Super tight beat though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I always appreciated Pharrell because he just seemed so organic with his stuff. Like, you could tell, like, there's no quantize on it. It was just like, it sounded like somebody was like not even a really good drummer playing drums on his stuff sometimes, but it was very percussive and it was just unique. And the fact that he sang, but he really couldn't sing either. but he's saying good
He
enough.
was jamming.
But he was still jamming. Like everything's still jammed. Like it's like he's in there coaching like Justin Timberlake and like you know what I mean. Like and I don't know. Like
I think Jay-Z made better songs from Pharrell Neptune's tracks.
He did.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah.
Shout out to
He
Timbo,
caught him
though.
for real.
Yeah, he did. He's the truth.
Yeah. Both talented fellas.
And again, we have to give disclaimers on Tim so people don't get in their feelings.
They gonna get in their feelings anyway.
Tim's R&B bag is untouchable.
That's
untouchable. But we're talking about hip hop.
Oh,
here,
but
y'all.
you know
now
what?
if we do Timbo versus Pharrell in the R&B realm, do you think it'd be about
I mean,
similar?
Pharrell has some really dope R&B.
Sure did, bro.
But I
he
kind
ain't
of think
touched-
Tim edged him out on that R&B game.
Yeah,
bro.
because you know what the thing is, Pharrell would do records that we like, but wouldn't be hits. And this is, this is a way to work this in. Rest in peace, Irish Grinstead from 702.
Yeah.
Like Pharrell gave, or the Neptunes, because it's when I think Pharrell Neptunes, it's all the same. Gave them 2 bangers with Star and I Still Love You, and those songs, as great as they were, weren't hits. Like when Timbaland is in his R&B bag, you gonna hear them songs forever.
Yeah, those are
Them
hits.
genuine joints.
Those
Come
are
on, man, them
Aaliyah
Aaliyahs.
joints.
Aaliyah joints.
Even the stuff
That
with
Justin Timberlake.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! Even the
Yeah.
stuff with Cheers to You.
Yeah.
With Static Major and Player.
But yeah,
So problem.
both Tim and Pharrell worked with Justin Timberlake.
They did.
But I feel like Tim's relationship and music that he put out with him was better, and they were both good.
The stuff that Timberland did on Future Sex love songs was out of here.
Yeah, man.
Out of here.
Smash.
I feel like Pharrell's more of the chameleon-esque producer that can come in and really mesh with a project, not pull too much. You're going to get Timbo regardless if he was going to be. It's not going to be. You're going to get something kind of weird and out there. It's going to bang.
You expect
But Pharrell
Tim is gonna bring you into his world.
Yeah.
And then Pharrell just meshes better and is probably
for sure.
Yeah.
He's gonna blend in, but still be him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tim is a mad scientist, man.
Yeah.
I think they both
perfect.
are, man. There's something in the water in VA, man, because everybody from Virginia, when it comes to that production and music game, man, are beasts. I mean, we talking about Pharrell, Missy, Timberland. Teddy Riley got his feet wet in VA.
Knots.
Knots.
Ooh, Bink. Now, we going crazy.
Let's not forget about Bink.
Bink don't like Just Blaze.
No.
Yeah. Well, we had that conversation. We still get comments on that segment too.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Will Smith is launching a hip hop podcast called Class of '88 featuring Rakim, Queen Latifah, and more.
I think them talking about some things that happened back when, back in the day could be really interesting, man. I think that's kind of what makes the Nori podcast, like the Drink Champs thing, when they really start telling stories about stuff that people don't know.
Right.
Like, I think that's like the jewel in those podcasts. I mean, because the rest of the around Drink Champs is super chaotic. But when they get in their bag and start telling you about things that you didn't know about, like, I mean, between Rakim and, Will Smith, like, these dudes probably got the craziest stories for situations that no one probably has a clue about. Like, I think it could be good.
Look, I just saw the clip of, like I said, I can't get through a whole Drink Champs episode, but I just saw a clip with Big Daddy Kane about how Suge tried to sign him. Like, the clip was so good.
Yeah.
And something Big Daddy Kane's spirit told him when Suge offered him $100,000 to just get on the plane and go home. It was like, I'm just going to owe you $100,000. I'll mess around and have to be working this off for the rest of my life. And
exactly.
I want to hear stories like that. So this is going to be above the fray as far as like, it's going to make it hard for us because we don't have no stories to tell. And nobody's going to come tell us any stories, but at the same time, it's like, when you talk about clogging up what it is, all these
I don't know
podcasts,
if that's even a thing.
I don't think that's not really a thing. I'm not worried about like, oh, Will Smith is going to take some of our light with this podcast. I worry about the people who I run into in the street who be like, hey, I want to do a podcast too. And they do 3 episodes and realize it's actually work.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for that deal. Listen,
Pat McAfee, holla at your boys.
We right here in town, baby.
We right here.
But yeah,
Well, I think
I'm excited for this sort of thing because I want to hear those stories that was like, you know, because anytime this is like, you know, I've never told nobody this. Like, I love those stories.
Yeah.
I think there's different types of shows. We kind of talked about this before we were even on the show today, but like we're more of a talk show than like the classical podcast where you have somebody on and you tell a story about something. We're more like a talk show that talks about whatever's going on in hip hop this week or and dives deeper into that, right? This doesn't seem like
culturally adjacent.
For sure. Yeah. And this show doesn't seem like it's even in our lane at all. Like this is like Will Smith and Rakim and Queen Latifah and, you know,
it's a historian show.
Yeah, and they're going to be
the actual
talking about, it's just like Open Mike Eagle has his type thing. I forget what it's called, but it's supposed to be really good. I don't listen to podcasts, but it's supposed to be really good. I know it's funny I say that, but like I feel like that's just kind of a different lane. You know what I mean? Like where you take somebody and you just like grab all their stories from them. You just tell a bunch of stories as opposed, you know, just like crime.
Like Questlove stories are always good.
Super good. Yeah.
Like the Questlove Supreme show is different than this lane because it's like, you know, interviewing and deep diving
in there and has these experience with these artists that he can talk about. Yeah.
And even still, I don't think that this show from 88 or whatever it's called, what would they call it? Class of 88. I don't think this would even like infringe on a Class of 90 show that would come out. You know what I mean? Because it's all kind of different. So I don't really think that's a thing.
And I think it's something to kind of look forward to be honest with you, because as somebody that was consuming that product back then as a kid, to hear like firsthand experience of what was actually going on behind the scenes is dope to me.
Yeah.
So I would tune in just based off the nostalgia factor.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, man, that's what we missed back in the day. Like, we didn't know what was going on in these guys' lives. We just liked their music.
No social media.
No social media. No, you know, we don't know about the ins and outs of their personal lives or the interactions they had with other rappers or, you know, executives that could be like not groundbreaking, but like interesting but
people
like,
who almost signed to this.
That. Almost got, you know, beat up at a club or something like that. Like we just didn't know that stuff back in the day. That's probably why they made them so tight to us.
Yeah, we didn't realize. Oh, my favorite rapper is actually kind of a sucker.
You know, real people. You know, they were like superheroes. Like nowadays, you know everything about these dudes, and the music doesn't matter anymore.
Listen, if I hear one more thing about Krishan Rock and Blueface and this
band, the thing is, like it's not even like Blueface got a line of hits. He got one song that I know.
Man.
And the thing is, you know why I even know that song is because Cardi B was on a remix.
And that song came out like 6 years ago.
It's a before pandemic record.
Yeah.
I feel like
we know everything about this dude's personal life. It's insane.
But I didn't know, you know, this is a wild thing is like when you think about, like when we look to like LL and Big Daddy Kane, we're like, man, these guys are, Big Daddy Kane wears a suit just like my dad.
Man.
They was 19 years old.
They was kids. I remember that slick line when LL Cool J said, I'm making more than your dad. Yeah. I was like, man, that's reckless. As a kid, I thought that was I'm like, wow, he makes more money than Pops? Because what is he doing?
The Fat Boys, by the time they were on the decline, they hadn't even turned 18 yet. This was actually a teen group.
And they was touring overseas at that time.
They was touring with Running them.
Yeah. They was big in Europe.
They was big here like that. That's why I always say I hate these documentaries and we do all this reminiscing about hip hop and we don't bring up the Fat Boys, because if Run DMC was 1, it's not even like Fat Boys was 2. They was 1A.
Come on, man.
Come on now.
When you think about Crush Groove, I think about the Fat Boys.
Fat Boys had a movie that was relatively successful when Run DMC.
Disorderlies was successful.
When they tried to do Tougher Than Leather, people was like, ugh.
Disorderlies was successful.
Have you seen Tougher Than Leather?
Man, I probably seen it once, and that was
it's one of the worst movies ever produced. It's awful. It's one of those things. Like I remember, like I wanted to go see it as a kid, and my parents, because it was rated R.
It was,
and
rated
like
R.
My parents that was good parenting for them not to waste their time and money taking me to go see no Run DMC movie.
That Disorderlies though,
Disorderlies was great.
That was a good movie.
Transition.
But I met Kool Keith at the Hi-Fi, and like me and Spools went to go see him, and then like for whatever reason we both loved this one Kool Keith song called "Girls in Jail," and it was like it's got a of course it's like my girl's in jail for life, never coming home, and then like I told Keith like, yo, I love that record, and he's like, Yeah, man, it's kind of actually a sad story behind that. And like, I didn't know what to do. I'd had a few drinks. I'm chilling. I was just like, yeah, never coming home. Like, I didn't know what to say. I'm probably like, get this dude out of here. Like, I have made a complete ass of myself with some of my hip hop heroes.
Dang,
like the same thing when I met Pasta News from De La Soul, and I gave him a mixtape that had a diss on it for De La Soul.
You told, I heard you say something about that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so.
You ever had a good interaction?
That's
with
grimy business.
Somebody behind the scenes?
Common was, because the thing is, like, Common was my guy. Or it still is. And I didn't want to meet him because you don't want to meet
your
heroes. And like, I started, because I was on the OK Player boards very heavy. And like, he was asking me, like, he's actually like, yo, what do you think should be the next single off the album? And I said, because Testify hit. And I said, I think it was Faithful. I told him how much I really liked that song, and he's like, yeah, we might do that as another single, but it never happened. And I said, what's up with that song with D'Angelo? It was produced by Dilla. Is that ever coming out? And he's like, oh, you know about that? I was like, they've been talking about that, and it came out like on The Shining, like maybe a year and a half later.
Well, they released it twice.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, they did. There's two different Common
So Far Gone
versions. So Far Gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was actually cool when I met Common, but there have been other times I'm like, man, this dude, the rappers I met probably like, man, get this dude out of here.
Yeah, I stopped. I had really bad interaction. I'm not a good first impressions kind of guy,
Right.
So I just don't even try it anymore.
I'm the same way.
What was my man that used to live here? He used to be on Def
Ron
Jux.
Fest.
No.
C-Rays.
I met him one time, and I had like on a Dope Couture Eazy-E shirt, and he looked at me, and he was like, Eazy-E was a snitch. And I'm like, I'm not said anything to this guy. I'm like, no, I didn't know that, bro. And he walks up to me. And I thought he was going to punch me.
Over the Eazy-E shirt.
He's like, he's a snitch, right? And I was like, man, I don't know nothing about that, bro.
First of all, at this point, Eazy been dead for how long?
Right.
And you know me, man. I'm just out here chilling, bro. I was probably blazed or whatever. Like, and he was like acting like he was gonna punch me in the stomach, and he got like right to my stomach, and he stopped. Like, if he would have punched me full strength, he probably would have killed me. I just can't crack the code of meeting new people. So
He used to wild out at Coaches.
Yeah, he did. He filmed a video there.
He used
and
to
I did a song with this dude.
He used to wow.
That's
out
crazy. I forgot about that.
You used to what?
Coaches.
I did a song with this dude.
Oh, yeah.
He was on one of the gateways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But whatever happened to him, man?
He's still out here.
He's
Not here, but
Not here. Yeah. But
I don't know, man. He was putting out a lot of. C-Rays was always the guy that was on the song with 900 features.
Yeah.
Like C-Rays Walls featuring 900
Everybody.
people.
Featuring Wu Gambinos.
stop.
It's the same way. Like
I had that CD.
I don't approach famous people at all.
I don't either, man.
Like at all. Like
I remember one time at Coaches, matter of fact,
I did Big Crit once, but
what's the name was here
At Coaches?
Yeah, with M80 Capadonna.
yeah, he was drinking
and M80
wine.
invites us over to talk to him. Like, he wanted to set us up with like an interview or something, and it's kind of like, I don't really know what to say to this dude right now.
Yeah.
It's just like meeting him, dapping him up, and blah blah blah, and then M80's like, yeah, I want to try to set y'all up to do an interview or something, whatever, blah blah blah. And I remember kind of just being like,
I'm pretty sure that I said we don't do interviews.
I don't think you did, but it was like,
I think we
it
all
was
met him
kind of
that night
awkward a little bit.
He was drinking wine.
He was drinking, he had a glass of wine.
because I'm over there. He's like, yo, what up, man? And this, like, he knew me. He's like, you don't remember me? I was like, dog, I have never met Capadonna. I don't like, and plus, like, there are rappers I've met more than once, and I never expect them to remember. I've met Fonte probably 4 or 5 times on different, and I know he doesn't know who I am. He meets people all the time, so that's fine. So for Capadonna, I don't know who he thought I was.
Capadonna.
He
Capadonna.
said Capadan.
Capadan.
He's like Capadonna.
Lieutenant Dan. Yeah. So I don't know who Capadonna thought I was. But
so he really didn't know you.
No.
Okay.
But he was like, come on, man, you don't remember me? I was like, sir, I've never met you.
Yeah. That's funny because my man M80 introduced me to Killer Priest who was super cool.
Right.
He just like, man, this is my guy Jay Brookinz. Da, da, da. I came up, shook his hand. He's like, oh man, you know, blah blah blah. That was probably the only good interaction I've ever had with somebody. Shout out to M80 who just will randomly have like your heroes just hanging out with him. You know what I mean? Like meeting Killer Priest. That was super cool.
I'll never forget. I went to a Planet Asia show.
He was cool
on the north side, and he was his own DJ.
Yeah, I remember that.
He was like rapping in the front, and there was nobody DJing, so he would walk all the way to the back and do his own drops with the turntable stuff. And there's like nobody there, but yeah, he was cool. Yeah.
Some of these dudes are super cool.
I think that was like a Rusty album release party or something.
It was something. I don't remember. Razzcast was super cool.
Yeah.
No,
he was walking around El Trees. Yeah, walking around El Trees. Yeah.
Craig G was cool.
Craig G was cool too. Yeah.
Guy from the Beat Miners.
Bushwick Bill was cool when he walked into the Casbah and drank his liquor, and then it was so weird, man. Just a random night.
Who's this?
Bushwick Bill just comes to the Casbah. He comes right next to me. I'm like, man, this is Bushwick Bill, dude. He drinks his liquor. He looks at me and starts smiling, laughing. Turns around, throws his bottle in the trash, and walks up the stairs.
No, that night I remember because he came in and I was like, man, who's this Bushwick Bill looking?
Yeah, we did say that. I'm like, man, that is Bushwick Bill.
Bushwick Bill, and he came and ran up on me and grabbed the microphone and was like, you know, ladies, you don't have to get low. I'm already short, which I thought was hilarious.
Yes.
And then and once again, it wasn't just liquor. He had a bottle of champagne. Mind you,
that's what it was.
The Casbah. I don't even know where he would get some champagne.
He walked in with that.
Okay, well there you go.
When you're Bushwick Bill, you could do things like that.
Yeah.
And it was like the week after when the Super Bowl was here.
Oh.
And the crazy thing is like
he just stuck around, huh?
There are people trying to still get money out the city.
He had people here though, because I know a few people that he actually worked with.
Okay.
Prior to that, like he would be over at my brother's in-laws' house just on the random.
Well,
sometimes back in the day.
I will say Black Milk was super cool.
No, he was.
Black Milk was
at the
super
Jazz
cool.
Kitchen, he was cool.
Odyssey was super cool.
Pharoah Monch was cool.
Moonchild they were super chill, super cool. Pharoah Monch, yeah.
It was wild
Pharoah Monch
because
was very,
I didn't
very
realize
cool.
his manager or road manager was remember in House Party 2, the white dude Jamal?
Yeah.
That's his manager.
From the Poor Righteous Teachers.
No, not poor. Young black teenagers.
Yeah.
Who was this DJ? Was that Boogie Blind?
Yeah.
He was super cool.
Yeah, we still follow each other on socials.
I think the coolest famous person I ever met though was Jalen Rose.
Yeah,
I met him the night he got drafted, which the draft was here. I think I might have been like 14, 15 years old. And he was in Don Shula's eating. And me and my cousin, my little brother, was outside. He told us to come in to his table and chopped it up with us the night he got drafted.
Nice.
Never forget that.
Nice. No, Jake won. It was very cool. He had been here a couple times with Freeway.
Freeway,
we were able to interview him in Terra Barbershop on the West Side.
I was there.
I see all the people doing like shows in barbershops now. I was like, man, I was doing them interviews.
Man, it kind of sucks to be ahead of the curve, man.
Yeah,
it does.
You kind of suffer from that a lot.
That footage is somewhere on YouTube.
Yeah, it's my footage.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, I literally took that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the whole thing's on there because I think Alpha was there too. Shouts to
yep, definitely.
Gentleman Alphonse or whatever he goes by now.
Oh,
yeah. And so, shout out to this is the craziest thing. Jake once the guy he kind of did business with. His name is Jay Moore. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Moore. Said Jay Moore. I say, when you hear you Jay
Seattle,
Moore.
Jay Moore.
When I come to Seattle, I'll be Jay Moore, Indianapolis or whatever.
Mm-hmm. He passed away, right?
He passed away. And you know what the crazy thing is? Like I was seeing like hashtag RIP Jay Moore, and that kind of messed with me a little bit, especially when I found out we had the same birthday.
That's wild.
Crazy.
Yeah, so life is crazy like that.
Hey, B. Hogan said he met Garfield at Toys R Us one time. And that's solid.
Yeah.
Hey, man, your daughter's going to be, in 30, 40 years, she's going to be like, yeah, I met Peppa Pig at Indians game.
Yeah.
That's right. When they bring all them characters out at the game.
I met a fake-ass RoboCop at a car show. Remember when World of Wheels used to come here?
No.
I imagine how terrible that knockoff RoboCop.
Man, I wanted to go see RoboCop. He was going to be at World of Wheels. We got there. I see this RoboCop. I'm like, his suit is not even shiny. It was like them fake muscles. It was all soft and And
cloth.
It was cloth. His helmet was cloth. I'm like, man, that's not RoboCop. There's no shine to that dude at all.
Just like, I beat the this RoboCop.
Man, get him out of here. That RoboCop pissed me off.
RoboCop was definitely not for the kids.
Hold on,
no, he wasn't.
Even though they made a cartoon and action figure, I was like, this is a rated R movie.
Man, that's one of the scariest things I ever seen when the TT whatever it was called came in that boardroom and lit everybody up.
And the thing is, that's the edited version. Like, they put out an unrated version of RoboCop on Blu-ray a few years ago.
Man, listen.
RoboCop was, because they said, like, basically they couldn't get an R rating from the first original cut. And so, like, they had to go back and cut a lot of the violence out. And then they put out it on, because they didn't want to put it out as X.
Yeah.
Which was a thing still then.
Look, my brother in here, he can contest to that that whack ass RoboCop that we had to meet.
Never forget the trauma.
I was like, man, that ain't RoboCop. We should have jumped him. Was what we probably should.
I met the Black Power Ranger. He came to Tiki Bob's one night.
I remember that.
He was just in there.
He was cleaning up, wasn't he?
Because at first I thought, man, who's this little dude? He about to come up and buy, because DJ Gabby Love, shout out to her, was DJing. And there's always some random dude come up there trying to bother her. And I was like, oh, here we go. And then it was like, oh snap, it's the Black Power, like the original Black Power Ranger. And you know, he was partying in Indianapolis.
It's morphin' time. He didn't say that when he got.
No,
up
he
there.
didn't say that. He didn't say that. I'd have been like, come on, dog. But he was actually pretty cool. Shout out to Walter Jones.
Are we still doing this? Because I got one that's really crazy. Shout out to my guy B-Tan, man. Rest in peace, B-Tan. We walking down the street on Broad Ripple Avenue, and he bumps into the subway guy.
Jared?
Yo, bumps into the subway guy, and in true B-Tan fashion, starts to beef with him. Talking crazy to him.
Dang.
Like, he had 2 girls with him too, I think, man. But he bumped
Were they
her
of
and
age?
started talking. Man, bro.
I seen Mark Summers. I seen Mark Summers, the
Double
dude that
Dare.
hosted Double Dare in Broad Ripple one time. I also ran into the greatest rapper of all time.
Dylon?
Dylan.
Oh, I was just kidding. You really ran into him?
I ran into Dylan downtown during Black Expo. We was outside and this dude walks past me. I'm like, man, that's Dylan. I said his name 5 times. Why he turned around and came back? He was like, respect. Dabbed me up and went on about his business.
Similar to the Booty Warrior story.
Oh, the same day though.
Yo, yeah.
Across the street, John Legend was in town as well. He's trying to get into the club. They would not let John Legend in the club because of the shoes he had on.
Oh.
Typical Indianapolis.
Indianapolis for you, bro.
Yeah, and of course, like, we always got to, because now he's back in the news a little bit because people are interviewing him. But yeah, Felice Johnson, the Booty Warrior, did stop by Coach's one night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got some stories.
I remember that.
Yeah. I got some pictures.
I was outside. I was literally outside for that.
Yeah, I think I kind of set that off.
Because he was like, Fleece.
Yeah, that was bad.
He was like, is that the Booty Warrior?
I was like, man, that's Fleece Johnson. I actually didn't scream his name.
It was Brooks.
It's Brooks. I was like, man, man,
You
that's
didn't refer
Fleece.
to him as the Booty Warrior.
No,
I don't think anybody
do
referred
that.
to him as. I didn't say, because I shot him out on the mic, but I did not call him the Booty Warrior.
I was like, man, that's Fleece, man. They was like, that's not Fleece.
He was like, Fleece.
He said, Fleece. And he turned around. He's like, why y'all do me like that, man?
And the thing is, he
I was
had
like,
on,
man,
like,
that is not. I'm like, that's not you. He's like, I'm Fleece. He showed me his ID.
and the thing is, he had on like the jail outfit. He had on the hat that, like, basically
It was brown, wasn't it?
Yeah, they made it like it was same hat that they made him have on in the fleet in the Boondocks.
And he tried to say he came up with this story that they lied on him, and
You can't
I'm
lie
like,
about
man,
that.
you literally, it came out of your mouth, dude, that you was
you know,
he was about that life.
He was really good editing.
Like, I
man.
probably shouldn't be talking to you right
what
now.
was he in the news for recently? Was he in the news for something?
I remember.
He's been doing interviews with
Glad
Anton
TV?
Daniels and
word.
yeah, and like he been talking about how, like, even though he's married now, he still craves booty.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I was like, man, I probably shouldn't even be talking to you, Fleece. You own one. I'll knock you out here
I'm
about
too
that.
frail to be talking to you, brother.
Nah, listen.
No, but then, like, you talk to people who was like, oh, because like he, you know, when the concerts come to town and they put up all the stages and stuff, like, he was working on those crews, like Desi Dez. I was like, oh yeah, he was a real nice guy, and like, you know, he's a hard worker and all this, and apparently he's got his life together, but he still craves booty.
Yeah. It's what he desires.
Well, different strokes for different folks.
I don't know if I'd use that term when we talking about the
That's
booty warrior.
why I used it.
He said he was gonna sue everybody. He was gonna sue the Boondocks and the CNBC people. I'm like, yeah,
he might have a
case.
He might have something for like the boot. When you actually put somebody in, and it's like
he
an
called
epic,
himself the booty warrior.
Yeah, but that's an epic episode. Well, then they're stealing his intellectual property.
Well,
are you in jail and they come to film you? Is that really your intellectual property?
Things might change when you're in prison. I don't know. I guess I gotta look up those laws.
Yeah, I mean,
we still trying to figure out how we can get paid off of how we was done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
you know,
that's kind of crazy, man. They jacking your show and putting it on clips and stuff like that, man. Like, do you have a case for that?
I don't know. I don't really know. I don't really know. Like, part of me is like, when I sit down and think about it, it's like maybe, and then it's like, yeah, but I feel like it would be such a hassle. And the only part about it that I think is really kind of messed up is when they don't credit us at all, or when they credit us wrong. Those are the only things that I'm really kind of worried.
Just cut my guys in, yo. Look at,
or we can just get a deal. Just give us a deal.
Cut my guys in. You already stealing their clips. You putting them on Netflix, man. Cut my guys in,
and
man.
HBO.
Yeah,
and HBO.
Because the thing is, even with the, someone said, "Yo, are you gonna take some sort of action?" I said, how would that look? It's a group of dudes that decide, we're going to sue the female producers of a documentary about women in hip hop being exploited, and we come.
Hey man,
but at the same time, we're being exploited.
Yeah,
hey,
bug all in them for that. I mean, I'm here to represent with you when I got to and stand on the picket line with you as well. But I got to get paid too.
Yeah, so
just credit us correctly. Like I said, I literally got to the point where we were, and then I was like, I'm not going to watch the rest of this. I haven't watched the rest of the documentary.
I haven't done it on either of them. I literally watched the HBO one up into that point, and then I just turned it off. I was like, I wasn't even upset at you. I mean, it was just kind of like, oh, it happened again.
Yeah.
So, Pat McAfee.
We getting looks out here, son.
Somebody out here.
Hey, do it for the brand, man. We for it. Let's do it for the brand.
Let's do the Pat McAfee hip hop wing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? With the new old heads, man.
I got ideas.
Somebody, whoever know Pat, man, tell him to holler at your boy.
Please.
Make something happen.
Well, I guess it's about 11 o'clock, so shouts to everybody that's still in the chat. I think that's going to wrap up episode 358.
Yes, sir.
Special thanks for Sir Brookinz for coming back on the show, as always, and talking with us. And
indeed.
Until next time, we will see y'all next week.
Hey, become a Patreon.
Yeah, do that.
You know what I'm saying?
Please do that. Yes.
So that we can spend some advertising money.
Yeah. So. Become a Patreon. We'll hook you up with some hats and some vinyl.
Hats, vinyl, stickers, all that stuff.
Get involved.
So, but yeah, do it. All right. See
I
y'all.
might actually be keeping this one.